Can you smell what the flock is cooking? You can't see me. What? I can't see you. These glasses out of here. What the flock is up? Flock up and flock off. Not you. You stick around because it's about to go down. You know, flock with the most energetic entity in the Eagleverse. And first things first, you know what we got to get into, man. You can tell I used to be a bit of a wrestling fanatic, crazy maniac, just something like an Eagle. Not quite to the extent that I'm an Eagle maniac, but I used to flocks with it. And this weekend, WrestleMania was in Philly, bro, and it was crazy. Is you kidding me? I know, see, I'm with the nostalgia of it. If you're a current fan and you're deep into it, you may have not enjoyed the things that I enjoyed. I caught the highlights, and I'm passing out. I'm like, oh, what is this? Let me check it out, see what's going on. It was in Philly. Let me see what's going on. First of all, super upset at how they brought out our boys Lane Johnson and Kelsey. Like, that was kind of corny. It didn't lend itself to quite the excitement that you would want to come from an Eagles crowd, from a Philly crowd. And I guess because, like what they said on Saturday, was a bit cold and this, that, and the third, whatever the case may be, right? But Sunday night, when they brought out John Cena, I watched this show. It comes on A&E. They talk about the legends and rivalries and things of that sort. And, you know, all these interviews, you keep hearing John Cena whenever he's talking during the interviews. You know, he's all buttoned up with the suit on, Hollywood superstar and all of that, saying, you know, he just can't do it. His body won't let him do it. And I'm not even a big John Cena guy, bro. But when John Cena, I was like, Ghost, no, stop. Hey, you doing what? And then The Rock comes out. The Rock can get the flock out of my face for all I care, though, man. I know I start the show with Can You Smoke the Flock, but, bro, he's talking about Jalen Hurts. That's my quarterback. He's gonna fuck you up, boy. Stop playing with me. But he came through, does the rock bottom, right? But then the Undertaker comes through and tombstones that motherfucker. What? Yo, it was super dope. Super hype. I just had to get that off my chest, off my nest, man. Shout out to Philly representing WrestleMania this weekend, man. That was super dope, man. Super exciting. A lot of things going on. Like, yeah, I might poke my beak back in there, man. Open my eagle eye, give it a little bit. It's looking real fun over there, man. But few more things to the Flock Pots today, man. We're gonna talk a little bit of Maddox. We already did the WrestleMania. Gonna talk a little draft talking, you know, take this thing where it may go, man. Hell no, Maniac Monday. What? Solar eclipse Mondays, lunar eclipse, whatever. It's crazy out here, dogs. I'm like, these glasses, man. This is wild. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? What are we really doing? We going out with blindfolds to look at the sun? What are we doing? But then this morning, Mega Maniac was like, nah, bro, look, if you just put them on and you look shit, it's kind of cool. I wasn't really for it. Now I'm for it. Sign me up. You know, the Maniac's a bit topsy-turvy, mushy middle sometimes on things, but you know how it go, right? So that's what we got for today, man. But before we get into anything else, man, let's get the Nets keeping out of the way. Let's keep the Maniac thing. Please like and subscribe. If you bought that Fly Eagles fly, drop a comment in that box. If you flying with the flock, let's fly. Do remember, join that Maniac thing. Note again, you hit that bell, you get a ding whenever I'm on this YouTube thing. Let's fly. And while that's a Maniac thing, let's keep the main thing. Hope this video keeps you in, finds you in good vibes, good tides, fly skies. Hopefully the skies will still be there after the eclipse, right? Because if you're not there, I hope this helps you get there because we're about to go there. Oh yeah, let's flock and go, right? So Maddox, right? So we got Maddox back, and I'm hearing all kinds of talk, and people like, you know, what is he gonna do? How's he gonna do it? You know, he's always injury prone. This, that, and the third, you know how it goes. You know all the talk around the Eagleverse, right? And you know I'm a big Maddox guy, and I know you probably say Eagle Maniac, you're an everybody guy, like, dogs, dude, is there an Eagle you don't love? Like, you know what? Marcus Smith. Yeah, if there was one guy I had to choose. Marcus Smith. If you see me in the comment sections lately, I'm like, what was up with that, bro? And we're going to get into that later, as a matter of fact. Yeah, true, real talk, right? So anyway, Maddox, we got him coming back, and people are concerned about, you know, say he comes into the season, he's playing his ass off, da-da-da, hoop, da-da-da-da, and boom, next thing you know, he's down, he's out for the season again, bang. All right, my answer to that would be, we have tons of depth, at least as it appears right now. We don't know what the final roster is going to be. You know, you only fit 53 on this thing, then you got the practice squad and things of that sort, right? But, you know, we've got Isaiah Rodgers to look at, but I'm hearing that he may be an outside corner also, or maybe he's just that versatile, right? Not to mention, you know, the draft is coming up. There's a whole lot of things going on. Not to mention, just take a walk with me, if you will, inside the mind of the Maniac. What if we were to use him because we brought him back, I believe, they didn't even say the number, but from what I understand, it's like less than $1 million. Let me know if I'm right down in the comments. I'm not sure, but it's not that much. It's nowhere near as much as what he was going to get paid, which was, I believe, $7 million. So before we released him. And I remember I told y'all, bro, much like Bradbury, much like Cox, much like Slay, not Bradbury, much like Slay and Cox in the previous 2 years, there's a possibility that we would bring Maddox back. the same way. Let him go test the water, see what he want to do, see if he want to stay in the town, see if he want to stay next to his BFF and all that. And like, you know what? All the stuff in there, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. I'm gonna stay in Philly. Let's flock and go, right? So that's what he ended up doing, right? So he's back in here. Like I said, let's take this walk. What if the Eagles, being that it's on such a low risk, low amount contract, we use this dude in a situational role? What if a lot of these pieces that we're putting together right now, we're going to use in situational roles anyway? People saying 17 million for Bryce Up and use him as we got a situational guy. Bro, you give me 10 sacks, I'm telling you, you give me 10 plus sacks, thinking it's worth like 17 million. I don't know, but it ain't my money. Who knows? But as far as Avonte Maddox goes, and put him in situations. We know he's an amazing blitzer. He's amazing coming off the edge. He's a great tackler, but those were the things he tackles with such reckless abandon that sometimes that's what lends itself to the injuries and the unappreciation of Eagles fans out there saying, "Oh, he's always injured." You see how this guy's getting injured, bro? He's coming here blowing stuff up, bro. One dude had the nerve to bring up last year's playoff appearance after he came back for 2 games from an injury. Talking about, well, no one cares about your injuries in week 18 in the playoffs. Dude, everyone, there's a certain amount of levity, a certain amount of nuance that you got to lend to the situation that he was in, bro. He came back early, didn't have to come back. Came back because we were basically in desperation mode, Not to mention, I saw someone who, I forget who said this the other day, like the last 4 games he's played, the last 6 games he's played, I believe it was Ruben Frank. Last 6 games he's played, 4 different coordinators, 4 different defensive coordinators. That's wild. But that's one of those things where you're like, well, see, I can't just sit here and say it's his fault. Dude, man, he just plays so hard, man. I love the way he plays, man. I wish there was a way that we could temper it. Like I said, perhaps lessen his snaps, use him in more situational roles because, like I said, man, he's one of the best slot corner covers. You know what I mean? And they're talking about his tackling last year, and he's only 2 games back. He probably wasn't quite at game speed yet, up to speed as far as the game went. Not to mention the playbooks that he had to go into, and it was a wild season for all involved. That being said, I could say it again and again. I'm gonna sound like a broken record. I'm a big Maddox guy, great tackler, minus those last 2 games he played last season. Great cover guy. He can blitz. He just brings so much tenacity, intensity, and so much into the game, man. I can't poo-poo the situation, the decision to bring him back. And yeah, I'm still on that. I don't know why. 4 days later, man. What else we got? Avonte Maddox WrestleMania, like I said, was super dope. Some draft talk. I guess maybe until the draft comes. What do we got? We about 2 weeks away. What is this? We got the 25th, 6th, 2.5. I said 2.5 weeks the other day. I think we're legitimately 2.5 weeks away now, as it stands right now. What is this? The 8th, 17 days, right? Regardless. Just let's do a few draft backs over there in the coming days, So I'm hopping out with this, just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks, right? Having my draft back for the day, draft flashback, is the 214 draft. I think would have to go down. I know you're like, damn, you of all drafts, you choose like what the fuck is it just came across my mind because so many of these polls are coming up on social media. Who's the worst draft? Who's the first person that the Eagles have drafted in the first round of and I'm seeing the Aglos and the Rager is like in a class of its own. Like it's almost so bad I don't even want to think about it. Much like a whole lot of other things going on in the world today, man. I just had woo. Anyway, we got Jalen Rager is in a class of its own, right? Like I almost have to like minus that one, put that over, and like that's like in the Hall of Fame. Hall of Infamy. Like it's so bad, especially when you consider who was picked after him, right? But I'm seeing Nelson Aguilar. I'm seeing guys that actually contribute, like Andre Dillard's, amongst other guys, right? And I'm like, dude, how come no one's bringing up this dude, Marcus Smith, dude? So I have to find out like what he came from. So maybe it's within that like 10-year span, like people just cutting it off, and maybe because it's from the Chip Kelly era, nobody wants to talk about it. I mean, would you consider it that how we drafted him, or did Chip Kelly have full reign at that time? Call it what you want to call it. Marcus Smith was the most ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. First of all, we're Pistons fans. I wasn't as, you might say right now, I'm not a very intelligent football fan as it stands right now, right? But nowhere near, didn't have anywhere near as much knowledge as I have now, albeit that was only 10 years ago. But, I'm starting to understand the building and team building and things of that sort. The nuances and the importance of like the ugly positions, how the sausage is made. Pause. Like, got offensive linemen, interior offensive linemen, interior defensive linemen, special teams guys. All this stuff comes together to make this team tick, to make this team go, to make this team fly high like a flocking eagle. You know what I mean? So back then, wasn't really concerned about those things. Regardless of what, I'm upset. We're trading back in the draft, right? There was so many guys. I've looked at that draft on numerous occasions. Like, look at what we could have taken if we would have stayed in our position. Look at what we would have taken if we wouldn't have taken him and taken some of the guys that were picked after him. Hindsight is always 20/20 with these draft things. We know how that goes. But I mean, Marcus Smith from Louisville. Louisville wasn't even like that. But I mean, though we haven't. So, damn, and I should have screenshotted it. But you know what? I'm seeing a lot of people doing this nowadays, and we do this thing on the fly anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, just give me a sec to check this out, man. Number one, it was him. I mean, not to mention, and yeah, we're gonna get into a few other drafts, some good ones in the coming days, man. Because I mean, that got it draft was crazy. But this draft in particular, picking up homeboy in the first round out of Louisville, and you know, I jacked it up the other day when I was giving him credit for having the most sacks in Tennessee volunteer history, and I thought it was him that took it from Reggie White. I'm wild, and that was my boy Derek Barnett, the most hated, but I flocks with him. But you know, this was just disgusting. 2014 Philadelphia Eagles draft class, bro. Well, you know what? Damn, I forgot about my boy. But other than that, this draft was ass. You got Marcus Smith picked number 26 overall. You guys probably don't even remember this guy. But then in the second round, not too bad, with the 42nd pick, we pick up Jordan Matthews. Jordan Matthews turned out low-key to be a beast, man. I've said this on time and time again. I remember during the time while we had him, like, people are poo-pooing him now. Like, you know, I believe he had the most receptions in the first 3 seasons for an Eagle, Eagles player in history, I believe. If that's the case, I believe Devontae Smith is about to blow it out the water if he hasn't blown it out the water already, right? What is his first, second, third? Cost him what? I believe he had like 210, like maybe he was averaging like 70, 80 receptions a year, bro. So Jordan Matthews, he was one of the good ones. But then we go and draft Josh Huff, a Chip Kelly dude, another wide receiver. We're picking up 2 wide receivers back-to-back in a flocking draft. What do you do? Like, it just looks dumb. Up and down the line, when you look at this, Jalen Watkins, I recall liking him. I don't recall him ever doing anything. He actually had a good run, 2014 to 2020. You know, Jordan Matthews was in the league for 9 years. Marcus Smith was probably out of the league as soon as we was done with him because nobody else wanted him. From 14 to 18, right? Josh Huff from 14 to 16, a dude out of Oregon. So that's Chip Kelly drafted one of his guys with his stupid-ass favoritism bullshit. Jalen Watkins, I believe he was out of Florida, right? Does it even say here? Yeah, he was out of Florida, yeah. Jalen Watkins, trash, at least in my estimation. 6 years in the league, not that trash. Taylor Hart was out of the league the next year. He was in it from 15 to 16. Ed Reynolds, I can't recall the game, seeing him. I don't remember anything about him. 1 year, 2016. Oh, yeah, and I was going to say Bo Allen was probably the best dude taken out of that draft. I mean, you know, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks. 2 of you batting 2 out of 7. I guess in the league, that'll keep you on the roster, right? In the NFL, I don't know, man. Matthews and Bo Allen was the 2 things that we could pull out of that draft where we could say, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? They did something. By the way, Bo Allen only lasted until 19? Sheesh. Honey Bobo, yo, Jason, holla at your boy, bro. Thought he was in there longer than that. Regardless of what I like, Bo, I recall liking Bo Allen. Well, Jason Kelsey likes Bo Allen, so you know what I'm saying? If he flocks with him, I flocks with him, right? You know what I'm saying? And Jordan Matthews was a beast in my estimation. You know what I'm saying? Just got beat up by injuries in his career. Lasted 9 years, not bad. That's a pretty good run in the NFL, man. So yeah, that's my little draft flashback for the day, man. One of the worst drafts in Eagles history, at least in the last 20 years, at least in the Jeffrey Lurie reign. Let me know if y'all have other ones that y'all thinking about down in the comments, but that one is for me right there. And then before I get out of here, going to give it a little NFL Network troll of the day. They just piss me off day by day. I can't find a flocking Eagles game, a throwback game, something. Give me something, bro. So I pop it on the day. What are we watching? We're watching 2003 Detroit Lions versus Arizona Cardinals. Game 1 of the season. When the fuck does this matter to you? How? Don't know. So yeah, that's just the daily troll for the NFL Network today, man. And I just had to get that off my chest, man. Great WrestleMania in Philly. Like I told y'all, man, can't wait for this draft coming up. I hope we have a way better draft than that 14 draft. And just Maddox, I'm still hyped. I'm still pumped that Maddox is back. Let's flock and go. I just can't wait for this draft, like I said, though. But till the next time, make it your best time. In the meantime, between time, keep it a green time. You know how I like to do around this time, about the time, man. It's always Eagles o'clock around here. Open your eagle eye, poke your beak, and give it an eagle screech. Woo! Say it with me. What you gonna do when Eagle Mania swoops down and runs wild on you? Say it with me one time. EAGLES. Eagles. That screech maxed that 2014 draft, bro. That was crazy. Let's get the flock up out of here. Happy Eclipse Day.